Check 1, 2. So are you guys ready? Good morning, baby. Morning, Lucretia, Gaston. Who else is out there? I see. We're going to get started in about, 60 seconds right after a few commercials. Got a great show on the way for you, so I want you guys to stick around, okay? Nothing like a little sax in the morning. Start your day off the right way. I'm going to keep it smooth for a little while. Then we're going to step it up a little bit, okay? Matter of fact, let's step it up initially, then smooth it out. That sounds better. Oh, you guys, tell your friends. It's going to be a great day, an amazing day, because you are here. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Strap yourselves in. In the meantime, let's listen to some commercials, and I'll get the show started right after that, okay? Alvin, my brother. Great conversation, Alvin. We got to talk some more. Let's pay some bills. Here we go. We all get busy every day. There's work, the market, driving around town, and if you've got kids, you're the go-to person to make sure they're taken care of. You just want to relax, but there's a problem. Clothes on the bed, toys on the couch, rest is going to have to wait. It's time to call Adrian's Divine Heart and Hands Personal Concierge Service. She'll bring order to your home with a deep cleaning that will leave your home spotless, fresh and clean the way you like it. For your home or office, from top to bottom, Adrian's Divine Heart and Hands does laundry and even some small home repairs. You're busy. Call Adrian's Divine Heart and Hands at 947-985-8757. That's 947-985-8757. Adrian's Divine Heart and Hands. Do you have posters, prints, photographs, or artwork rolled up in the closet or under the bed? If you do, you need to get framed at Eric's I've Been Frame Shop. Eric's I've Been Frame Shop is the award-winning custom picture frame shop with over 25 years of experience and expertise, and the official sellers of WJZZ t-shirts and gear. Eric's also specializes in creative and unusual designs for your art or memorabilia. With over 2,000 frames and selections, we can properly handle your art. Our services include glass replacement, conservation framing, shadow box boxes, and photo restorations. Our store also offers posters, prints, original postcards, coffee table books, handmade note cards, black memorabilia, postcards, stone tile magnets, and coasters and puzzles. Eric's I've Been Framed is the exclusive store that sells the official throwback WJZZ 105.9 t-shirts and other JZZ gear. So stop by Eric's I've Been Framed, located at 16527 Livernois Avenue between Puritan and McNichols, right across the street from U of D Mercy. Call 313-861-9263 for your custom picture framing consultation appointment. Again, that's Eric's I've Been Framed at 313-861-9263.
Ladies, do you have a stylist? Are they good? Do they care about your hair? Do they care about your style or your curl? If you said no to any of these questions, then you should go to Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call 248-278-3158. At Menzie Salon, they care about your hair. They care about your cut, your color, and your style. Menzie Salon, 22884 Ryan Road in Warren. Call them at 248-278-3158. That's 248-278-3158. Menzie Salon, where they care about your hair, they care about your cut, your color, your curl, and your style.
This is the Rise and Grind Morning with your man, Don Allen.
You've heard, now listen. WJZD Radio, Detroit.com.
Oh, let's get this thing started the right way. Good morning to you. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you for opening my eyes and allowing me to be a part of this day. Thank you, Lord, for loving me first, for forgiving me, for understanding that I'm a sinner. It's not something by which I am proud, but every day, I promise.
They say I'm crazy.
I promise I'm going to try my best to do better than I was yesterday.
Baby.
And I'm going to talk to you every day. And that's what we all need to do, because this Lord knows this planet needs some help.
Bugging.
Because God gave us a great planet and we just screwing it up, you guys. Let's call it what it is. Good morning, Janae. Smoke Jones with us. My brother like none other from another mother, Alvin White with us. Good morning, baby.
It ain't a question of pride.
It's all about love.
Ooh.
Are you guys ready? Weekend's just around the corner, across the street and down the block, okay? It'll be here in a minute. My name is Don Allen. Let's get this thing started. Welcome to the Rise and Grind. Everybody hit the share button.
They say I'm ripping the way you
It's all about love today.
life flip.
We're going to spread some love. We're going to have a great time doing it. Got some news for you guys tonight. I'm so excited, I just can't hold it in. Tonight, 8 p.m.,
Baby.
my sister from WJZZ, Bannice Johnson, will be on the air right here tonight.
When love is gone,
It's all about love.
it ain't no
Doing a little guest spot. Good morning, Mom. I love you. Baby, Mom's listening, so I got to behave. But I'm glad you're listening, because I've got a great show planned for you today. But before we go into the show, let me tell you who we're going to listen to in the background. Right now, you've got Jill Scott, It's Love. Coming up next, one of Dawn's favorites, one of Tree's favorites, Grace Jones is on the way. Michael Franks is headed this way. Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley is coming up this hour. Detroit's own LaShawn Gary, Boney James and Rick Braun, Nick Smith, Lynn Roundtree, Joe Sample, and are you ready? The mighty Ohio Players. It's all about love. And Smoke said the weekend is in the bushes, waiting to jump out and get wild. That part, Smoke. We have an amazing show. Van Ness will be on the air tonight at 8 p.m. You guys, you want to hear some good stuff? Check out Van tonight at 8. Now, today we have a hot topic, and it's more of something that'll make you just sit back, close your eyes, and reminisce. You remember rice and gravy? You remember having your biscuits with it? That's what the hot topic is, believe it or not. It's all about remember when. And see, you guys don't know, all around the world, my mom is actually listening to this show. So she gonna check me if I'm wrong, but this is an easy one for me. You know. It's all about remembering. Come on, it's cold outside. We can sit inside and just converse. And if I hear one of y'all say we're going to conversate, I'm going to slap you, okay? There's no such word as conversate, okay? We are conversing. It's all about remember when. So strap your memory caps on. Try to think way back to when you were a little snotty-nosed kid running up and down the street, having a good time. We didn't worry about people snatching you up. You could leave your front door open back in those days. You remember that? And even though the front door was open, your mama said, go to the side door. I don't want y'all running in out this house.
On your black eyes. Do you want it on your sweet, baby?
Oh, we're going to remember some things today. Alvin and I were talking about this very same thing yesterday.
Give it that.
Sluggo, old boy. Thaddeus, old boy. Good morning to you. Certainly wonderful to hear you. Thad checking in. And as I was talking to Alvin yesterday, he brought something to my attention that I forgot to write down. Do you guys remember CKLW? If you're living in Detroit, the Big 8 was the radio station. He also alerted me to where a friend of mine, a radio iconic friend of mine, where he hailed from, which was in Ypsilanti. I'm talking about the electrifying Mojo. Remember Mojo? If I could get him on the air, I could just, not even worry no more. Just one show. So, Mojo, if you're listening, I need you to do one show. That's it. We will shut this piece down. But do you remember CKLW? And the station from which I hail, WDRQ. Do you remember? Before there were for JZZ for me. Before there was Q106 for me. Before there was KTSU for me, WBSC for me. There was WDRQ. And this song came out right about that time. Grace Jones, Don't Cry, It's Only the Rhythm. And I gotta be quiet and let you guys enjoy this, okay? Check it out. I just love the way it goes from speaker to speaker. Oh, yeah, it's Lucretia. Lucretia says, do you remember Jim Ingram and drumbeat commentary? Of course I do. That was good commentary right there. One of the best in the business. But today we're going to sit back and try to remember. Remember when life was simpler. Of course you remember the Ice Cream Man, Good Humor Man. I didn't realize until I spoke to a buddy of mine at work that they did have good humor in New Jersey. The guy with the white, he had to wear a white suit, a white hat with the little cool little change thing on his belt, and he just hit his little thing and you get your quarters, your nickels, and your pennies. You remember that? You like that one? That's the best part of the record right there. Yeah, but do you remember? I know you remember those group trucks that came down the street selling their confections. But do you remember Mr. Softy, Dot and Edda's? And get even deeper. Shout out to everybody who remembers the Eggman, who would now, today, the Eggman would make, he'd be like, it would be a Mercedes-Benz truck because eggs are so expensive. Do you remember the Eggman? This guy who drove down the street and he had a truck and that's what he sold was eggs. Fresh, farm fresh eggs. Oh yeah, I got it rolling this morning. Michael Franks, When Slide Calls. This is the Rise and Grind Morning. Oh my God, Lucretia, you going there. Do you remember Mohawk Liquors and the Spirit of Detroit newspaper? And you were crowned the Spirit of Detroit back then for the Spirit of Detroit newspaper. Bless your heart, I didn't even know that. But do you remember that? Did you remember that Lucretia was voted Spirit of Detroit? LaShawn Carr, good morning. Who remembers the milk being delivered in glass bottles? I do. Do you remember when they delivered the milk into the little milk chutes on the side of your house? They had to seal those off because that's how people started breaking in. Do you remember? Do you remember the vegetable and the fruit man? He'd sell fresh greens and cabbage and celery, bell peppers and tomatoes, strawberries, peaches, pears, apples, and he'd have a little scale on the back of his truck. Do you remember when life was so much simpler? But that egg man, I should give me a truck and start selling eggs. I could sell one for $5. Do you remember when you could leave your door open though? Do you remember that? Do you remember when you had to be home and on the porch at what time? Everybody tell me, type it in. What time did you have to be on that porch? When what came on? See, Alvin is from my neighborhood. He remembers the vegetable man. Best smelling truck in the world. You ain't never lied. Oh, I remember the ice cream man on the bike cart. See, Lucretia, you showing your age now. I thought you was younger than me. Do you remember? Life was so much more simpler.
It's 10 for time.
I always wanted to be that guy on the bike.
It's right.
Dawn, my baby got it. You had to be on that porch when the street lights came on. That's right.
I see my house of cards.
And you could sit on, I don't know about you guys, but my mom let us sit out on the porch and just chill. As long as we were in earshot of her. My mama could hear what you was thinking when you were on her porch.
The signal fades. I lock the door.
Janae says my mom worked at the old state building on 6th Street in Howard. The fruit man's truck was at the curb, and I would walk from Cass Tech after school to her building and buy fruit before you went in. Amazing. So you were at Cass Tech when it was the pickle factory, right? LaShawn says, I remember those Connor Penny candy stores. I remember those. My mom chimed in. That's right. When the street lights came in, all three of mine was on the porch. Oh, you almost got me. You got me then. I'm your little brother. Try to remember. How about back when your parents knew every single one of your friends and their parents? I know my mom knew all my friends' mamas. She knew Carrie's mom, Nate's mom, Daryl Johnson's mom, Corey's mom. All of them. See, that's when it was important to know who your children were associating with. They wasn't being nosy. They needed to know. See, parents had a network back then, you know. Because you didn't need the internet to find out where your children were. They mama was going to call your mama and tell you, oh, he over here, girl. That's when times were simpler. You didn't think I knew about that one, did you, Janae? Yeah, Cass Tech was actually a pickle factory back in the day. Do you know how you'd find out where all your friends were hanging out? Where all the bicycles were blocking up somebody's driveway. That's where you knew where they were at. And where was the hangout spot for you and your friends in your neighborhood? For me, it was right over there on St. Mary's in Pembroke at the playground. We played basketball, baseball, hang out, roll, get on the swings, jump off the swing. Man, if I jumped off the swing now, you better have an EMS standing by. This is the Rise and Grind Morning. Your man Don Allen is here taking you back, helping you remember when times were so much more simpler. Kids don't know the struggle. They don't know the joy of being able to go outside and play. My mom, even when I was on punishment, my mom would get tired of seeing us in the house. Go outside, boy. Do you remember that? And Janae knows about the bikes on the side of the driveway. Oh, Lucretia nailed this one. Do you remember being able to remember all the phone numbers? Your house, your mama's job, your best friend's number. I could remember like 30 different phone numbers off the top of my head. What's Gerald Johnson's number? Blah, blah, blah. What's Carrie's phone number? Blah, blah, blah. What's your mama's address? Blah, blah. What's your mama's job, work number? Both jobs. Because my mom always had 2 jobs. I knew the numbers for all of them. Gary Hunter, do you remember when life was so much more simple? I remember when I was a little boy, my mom had us walk to church before she got there so we could go to Sunday school. St. Matthew AME Church over on Petoskey. Cat a corner to the boys club over on Petoskey and, was it Joy Road or Collingwood? Wasabi Corey, good morning. Vicky Howard Terry, we're reminiscing about when life was so much more simpler. Do you remember when company came over and you had to leave the room, which was kind of rough because the living room was where the TV was? We had 2 TVs in our house. One was in the console in the living room when I was little, and the other one was up in my mom's room, and we weren't allowed to go in there. Janae still remembers a lot of phone numbers. Knowing phone numbers used to be a part of testing for kindergarten to determine if you could go for a full half day or had to go for a full day. I didn't know that. Lucretia says, do you remember when children showed grown folks respect? Oh, yeah, I definitely remember that because I was raised on that one. My mom would give you that Clint Eastwood look like, somebody say good morning to you, boy. You better speak like you knew where you was born at, boy. And then don't be within arm shot because she will crack you. Pow! But that's how we learn. Knowing the phone numbers. Knowing to say thank you. Children nowadays don't say thank you. Ooh, Gaston got one. Do you remember when you had to dial the weather and the time? 932121212. Or you can dial WEATHER and get the weather. At the tone, the time will be. We're looking back on when time was much more simpler. But did you remember when your parents made you leave the living room? Because they was about to talk about grown folk stuff, and when you were a little kid, you did not care. You were kind of bummed out that you had to leave the living room because the TV was in there. So, I touched on this one a second ago. You remember when, if you had 2 phones in the house, one was in your parents' room, where was the other phone located at? Baby, your baby say thank you. I'd knock their heads off. That's right. They better say thank you. Janae says, do y'all remember when parents required respect? These parents today are on something else, but then again, they aren't showing kids anything to respect because the parents are just as immature as the kids are. Absolutely, I agree. Alvin says, I remember my mom's countless 8-tracks. We were talking about this yesterday. Alvin's mom and my mom cornered the market on 8-tracks. Shout out, special mention if your mama had an Al Green 8-track and an Isley Brothers 8-track. Did y'all have one of those? And your family was super cool. When it first came out, you had your 8-track in the car. There you go, sis. Vicky got it. The other one phone was in Mama's room. The other phone was on the kitchen wall with that long cord that got stretched all out of shape really, really bad. No, we didn't have phone stands. And then when my mom didn't do it a lot, but when she was mad at me or Daryl or Jerry, my older brothers, she'd wait till you got on the phone with your girlfriend. And, hello, I need to use this phone. Get off the phone. Do you remember that neighbor who back then you called her the nosy neighbor, but she was actually looking out for you and for the neighborhood? Every neighborhood needs a good nosy neighbor. Oh, you're getting too modern for me, Lucretia. Remember when the cell phone was in a heavy bag? I had one of them, and I had a brick. Vicky Howard said it was yellow. Jenny says there's an old rotary phone on the wall of my basement from previous owners who bought the house in the 60s. Keep that phone. Or if you don't want to give it to me, I'll keep that phone. Shout out to everybody who knows what a rotary phone is. See, the children today don't know the struggle. They will, if the phone rang, if you had a rotary phone in your house, do you think your 6-year-old niece or nephew could actually operate it? I don't think they could. I don't. It would ring, and they would look at it like it was from outer space, and one of them would be brave and pick it up. And they wouldn't say nothing. They just sit there quiet, stupid. You know, and then they hear somebody say hello, and they'd say hello back. And is this a phone? And they'd ask the person on the phone if this is a phone. And the person on the other line would be like, is this child normal? Yeah, wait a minute. Somebody and I were talking about party lines, Lucretia. Top of the morning, Raw Talk. Your sister's one right now. Oh, my God. And the sad thing about it, not only do children not know how to use rotary phones, but they cannot tell time on a numerical clock. It has to be digital for them to. Do you realize children are not being taught how to tell time on a regular clock? And they're not being taught cursive writing in school. And it's disturbing that in Congress right now they are trying to remove the teaching of Dr. Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman. They're trying to remove all of that from your history books. They don't even have history class, but they want them to know that who Christopher Columbus was. You know. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Mom. I do remember the party lines. I used to think I could never be a phone operator because, number one, it was all women that did that job. No offense, ladies. But if you remember old movies, you'd see a lady with a headset on and plugging into different things. I'm like, what the heck? I could never learn that. Oh, yeah, I remember that, Lucretia. Oh, my God. And Janae said she's keeping that phone. My dream house is going to have an antique room. I found out during the pandemic that our mail table is actually an old sewing machine that flips from underneath. My mom had one of those. And I do remember when girls had to wear skirts to school, never wore pants. Do you remember that? I went to Winterhalter Elementary with Anita Baker. And that when I was in kindergarten, true story, all the girls had to wear skirts with the knee socks. And boys had to wear pants. And you had to walk in single file line. And you had to fold your arms. It's mm-hmm. My mom said she could hear other people's conversations. Oh, wow. LaShawn says, I remember laying on the floor Sunday nights and listening to Sunday Night Segway. Red face, heart shape. Yeah, but my baby Dawn, she makes a valid point and a serious statement. We must teach our kids and oh no, you ain't calling me now. We must teach our kids and our grandkids about our history, because clearly they don't care about us. They're not going to put it in to regular school curriculum. We've got to teach them. Start off with respect. Start off with thank you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Saying the word may I instead of can I. Yeah, let's start there. And if your kids have kids, and if they're not teaching them, you take the wheel. You and Jesus got to take the wheel. Because these kids, if they don't learn, you see what happened to kids who aren't taught anything. As children, they grow up to be stupid parents. No offense to anybody, but it is what it is. How are you going to teach someone something if you don't know anything? This is Detroit's own LaShawn Gary. It's called Inception. Yes, I do. Lucretia asks, do you remember when all men used to wear hats and sport jackets? That's where your granddaddy got it from. Alvin says, I forgot, do we still dial people on mobile phones? No, we don't dial people because there's actually, if it's your first time calling an individual, you have to dial the entire number. But do you realize now, if I wanted to call Alvin or my wife-to-be Dawn, if I wanted to call my mom, if I wanted to call Lucretia, I push one button. One button, bam. You realize that it kind of slipped in on you like that. Don't you realize that? Dawn says she worked at the office at Mumford High School and used the phone with the cords transferring calls. You did that? Wow. Do you remember what it meant when your mom would say, wait till your dad get home? No, I don't remember that too much, Lucretia, because my mom handled business herself. Oh, yeah. And as much as all of us, I don't know if all y'all got it, but me and my brothers, my mama handled business, whooped that ass. And actually, I feel I'm a better man for that. Let me tell you something. If your kids have never had their ass whipped, I'm not saying whoop them into oblivion, but I mean, put a little heat on that bottle. And when they get older, if they're like 4 and 5, use a shoe. If they're 7 or 8, you might want to use a tree branch. Once they get to like 12, they graduate to the belt. When they're 13, 14, they think they're grown because y'all little girls think y'all grown at 13 and 14. Introduce them to the extension cord. I guarantee these children will straighten the hell up. Send them over to my mama house. Pat don't play that shit. I'm sorry, Mom. She did not play that stuff. It's the truth. That's the problem with these kids nowadays. No one is putting no hand to bottom. I'm reading what Lucretia put on here. I'm sorry. So, do you remember what it meant when your mom said, wait till your dad get home? And then she typed in, they'll snatch a knot in your Me and Lucretia's mom, and I know Dawn's mama, I think they all went to the same school. I think we all Indian. We're of Indian descent. We a slapper. We from the Slapaho tribe. I ain't gonna lie. We're just thinking back when times were much more simpler. I got another one for you. Now, I can read this one. Do you remember penny candy? Somebody mentioned that earlier. There was a store, there were two stores in my neighborhood, one on Tyler and Dexter, Jack's. And he had a table full of candy, full of penny candy. And then there was a store on Broad Street, and I forget if it was Collingwood and that's where I first got my first winter sucker. A winter sucker costs a nickel. And you open it up, and if it's a winner on the back, you got another one for free. Gerard Gibbs, pianist extraordinaire. And incidentally, Gerard, I'm so glad you're here. And I spoke to Ralph Armstrong last night. And here's what's happening. I'm working with some students from the University of Michigan marketing class. Two teams are going to work with the radio station, and they're going to come up with a marketing plan for it. They get grades for it, and we get a new marketing plan. I think it's so cool to interact with these college students. They're all 21, and Gerard, I'm bringing them up to Baker's Keyboard Lounge, which incidentally, I want to invite all of you guys up to Baker's Friday and Saturday night for the Ralph Armstrong Trio. Gerard Gibbs on the keys, Galen McKinney on the drums, and the bass pimp himself on the bass. But I'm gonna set it up so the students and I from University of Michigan, they didn't know that Baker's was the oldest jazz club in the world. I had to educate them, and I told them about Ralph's background and your background and Galen's background, and they were so eager to know more. So I'm bringing them all down there. Don't worry, it'll probably be next week. So you're at Baker's only this Saturday? Mm-hmm. We'll probably fall through there Saturday night anyway. This is Boney James and Rick Braun. Love's like that sometimes. They are the T-Blue. Oh, yeah, you're at the Blue Llama? Lottie-dottie. But who remembers Penny Candy, Winter Suckers, Bub's Daddy Bubblegum, and Bazooka Joe Jr., Bazooka Joe Bubblegum? Y'all remember that? With the little cartoon strips in there? E-flat, what's going on, baby? We are taking a moment to remember when times were so much simpler. If you remember Bazooka Joe Bubblegum and that long, skinny one, Bub's Daddy. Now, this one's for the guys. Do you remember how cool you felt when you got your first pair of All-Star gym shoes? They were $10 when I was a kid. The same shoe now is $80. Same shoe. And they only came in two colors, black and white. Then when they came out with the red and the green ones, you got jazzy. Chris Harris, good morning. Welcome to the Rise and Grind. We are just reminiscing, remembering when life was so much simpler. Do you remember your family picnics at the park? Do you remember? Oh, here's one for everybody, all the ladies. Uh-oh, here we go. Gerard about to preach for us. Janae, are you ready for that? Gerard said, from your earlier point about child rearing, Proverbs 22:15, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Hallelujah. I knew Gerard was going to bring me some wisdom. Jonathan said, E-flat said at Payless. I don't remember, because back then I wasn't smoking. They were 35 cents. Gas was 35 cents a gallon. I do remember that. You know, because I was trying to figure out why the big numbers there, and then you got the little small numbers next to them. And that was for in gallons. And I think it was my mom who told me that those are 35 cents a gallon. I was like, oh, okay. Now what's a gallon? LaShawn Carr says, who remembers the dots on the long paper can? I remember that. Everyone was eating that paper. Right. Y'all remember little dots, the little candy dots that was on that long strip of paper? Good morning, my big sis, Delphine from Atlanta. Good morning. We're just reminiscing. And I know me and Delphine can sit down and reminisce. Incidentally, guys, I want you guys to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. My other sister, Vannice Johnson, will be on the air at 8 p.m. tonight. It's going to be a wonderful evening of great music. Yeah, Vannice, she's going to be here. You know, not on camera, but she'll be here. Check her out tonight. But I remember the candy with the dots, the big strip of paper, and you had purple, and they had the red, and all different colors. Oh, wait a minute. Alvin came up with a great one. Now and laters, a.k.a. nine-laters. The purple ones. I was down with the purple ones at first, you know. But I don't eat candy anymore, so. Janae remembers the dots. She used to call them sugar bumps. Dawn remembers the candy necklaces. Oh, baby, I forgot about those. The candy necklaces, the bubblegum cigarettes, they had the sugar smoke when you blew on them. I remember those. Time was so much more simpler. Life was so much simpler. You remember picnics at the park? Shout out to everybody who went to Belle Isle. Went to Belle Isle Park, and we had picnics at Belle Isle, Metropolitan Beach, Kensington, even Palmer Park and Rouge Park. My brother astounded me, my older brother astounded me by jumping off the highest board at Rouge Park and surviving. Thank you so much, Lucretia. Oh, the Astro Pop Suckers. Oh, amazing. Y'all know that. Okay, ladies, guys, do you remember your first slow dance? Your very first slow dance? And where was it? I remember mine. Do you remember your first kiss? Do you remember your first kiss? I remember mine. At Coffee Elementary School, I remember my first kiss. Yes, I do. I ain't gonna tell y'all who it was. But do you remember? Oh, I used to love the squirrels. Okay, so do you remember your first kiss? Dawn says my mom would bring me candy home from work all the time. I will say this. Now, my mom brought home candy that we could not eat. It was always in the living room for company. And if she saw the candy dish empty, she called all three of us in there. I ain't gonna lie, I had one or two pieces, but I did not eat it all. Oh, the go-go boots. And what about Jingle Boots? You remember the Jingle Boots? Edgewater Park, baby. That was the spot. But before Edgewater, my mom took me to Boblo, if you remember Boblo. Oh, God, we're going to get to those in a minute, Lucretia. Lucretia rolling it off. Now, red light parties, basement parties where you had to pay 50 cents to get in. Janae said, definitely remember my first kiss in kindergarten. You were fast, weren't you? His name was Leonard. Wonder where he is. He was so cute. Leonard was cute, girl. Say what you won't say. Gerard Gear says, remember dialing information 411? I used to be an information operator during the Michigan Bell strike back in 1988. Oh, my God. You guys did a lot. That's amazing, Gerard. We're going to talk some more because, but nobody is answering. Only person that answered about the first kiss was Janae. Who remembers their first kiss? Lucretia said, yeah, I remember, and I pushed him so hard, his head up against what? Against the side of the house and broke up, and he broke up. You pushed the po' boy after he kissed you and he broke up with you? And you had the nerve to be mad. Shame on you. Dawn said, I remember a boy in elementary school kissed me on the cheek, and I swore I was pregnant. In 3rd grade. You guys are amazing. Jonathan E. Flatmore. He definitely remembers his at, where's that, Gompers Elementary. Everybody got kissed in the 3rd grade. What is wrong? What is up with the 3rd grade? I was in the 6th grade. No, 7th grade, my first kiss. Cheryl Smith. And Cheryl, Cheryl went to Henry Ford, graduated before me. She remembers her first kiss. Guys learning would have spit rolling down your neck. Is this true? Wait a minute. Whoa. Is it true guys had spit rolling down your neck when they were just practicing? See, me and Alvin were a little bit more reserved. He got his in the 5th. I got mine in the 6th, you know. LaShawn Carr says, who remembers calling home collect from a payphone and yelling where you were to your mom, and your mom would not accept the collect call? No, my mom strictly just said, have your ass home by 1. And here I come at 5 minutes to 1. But the thing was, it was right 2 blocks up the street. Carrie and I went, and the beautiful thing about me and Carrie hanging out, Carrie's dad had a Cadillac. He always had a Cadillac until Benz came out, and got popular. And then he got Benzes, and we would wash the car. He would let us take the caddy to these parties, so we were real popular. Every now and then, my mom had a caddy too, and every now and then, we'd be in her car. So me and Carrie was the fly guys. Let's see. Who remembers their first basement party? 2 things. The first basement party or the first time you rode the bus by yourself. I remember that. I would get on it at Dexter and Tyler and get the bus. I think it was 40 cents. I would catch the bus, the Dexter downtown bus, and get off at on Cass just before Warren, walk across the street, go to my mom's building, go up to the 14th floor, and, do whatever she told me to do, and she would bring me back home. That was when I was also in the 6th grade, I believe. Alvin says his first kiss, he'd have to add it was begrudgingly. She was more ready than he was. Oh, dashikis. Right on. If you had a dashiki, you had to do the fist. Yeah, right on. Okay, now, if you had to have a dashiki, you had to have an afro, in which case you had to have a pick with a fist on it. Do you remember these? I had that. And had the wife beater, the keychain whips, does anybody remember this little toy? And they outlawed this toy. It had the string with the 2 balls, and you used to have to make them clack together. Gerard says Hamilton and 7 Mile, the original Caz-Tech at 2nd and Henry Street. Oh, the Pickle Factory. We were just talking about that. What up, though, Jay Byrne? We are talking about when life was so much more simpler. When you had your first kiss. When you went to your first basement party. When you had to be at home when the porch lights came on. When children respected elders. When they walked into a room and they just had to look at somebody and someone said good morning and you had to say good morning, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am, no ma'am. And I'm not talking about like they did on Roots. I'm like just out of being polite. Yes ma'am, good morning, how are you? I do that every day. My goal in life is to make everybody I bump into have a better day. To make them smile. They ask me how I'm doing. I say better than I deserve. Now some of them don't understand that when I say that, I am doing better than I deserve because mankind don't deserve all that much. But it's His grace and mercy that He's extending to me because He loves me is the reason why I'm doing better than I deserve. You get it? And yes, Alvin, those are click clacks. Wait a minute. E-Flat says, who remembers that number you had to dial when you wanted to know what time it was? Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Was it 9212121212? You had a few of the click-clack balls? I only had one, and I lost it. And Gerard said, remember when the Afro hair picks used to be called cake cutters? I remember that. Oh, that was a good one. And Dawn, your mother-in-law still can play a mean game of jacks. And see, my mom is listening on the line, everyone. She says squirrels, sugar babies, and Mary Janes. Oh, it's 4721212. And see, actually, now I'm have to straighten me out on this, and Gerard, you would know the answer. Was it? Did you do that on the rotary phone? You know, 472121212. Or was that just strictly when the digital phones or the push button? They weren't digital; they were just push button. They were tone phones. Shout out to everybody who remembers rotary phones. You are exceptionally old. And about a year or two, I was in Westland Mall. And somewhere in my phone, I actually have a picture of it. I was walking to the restroom, and there was a payphone, an actual payphone that took quarters, nickels, and dimes at Westland Mall, and they might have taken it down last year. They should have kept that thing in there. And I was actually there when some kid was like, Mommy, what is that? And I walked by, I was like, it's a cell phone, kid. Just overgrown cell phone. Yep, rotary and push button. Okay. Oh, you did it on your grandma's rotary phone? Hey, Selena, what's going on? We're remembering when life was so much more simpler. But special shout outs to everybody who went to Boblo, Edgewater Park. Do you remember Boblo? And I'm talking before the midnight cruises. Yeah, we know when the Mojo did the big parties out there. We need Boblo boats to come back. They need to go on and finish messing around and fix that boat back up. That's a money maker right there. Bell-bottom pants and window pane pants. I had both. Do you remember Pants Galore, the $5 store at the Greenfield Plaza? Was it Greenfield Plaza? Right across the street from Northland Mall. And of course, there was the Music Pub record store right in the I'm thinking it's Greenfield Plaza. I'm not sure if that was the name of it. There was a Farmer Jack's and a store called Tops there. I know the Music Pub was there. Pants Galore was there. And we would walk from virtually about 3 miles, I call it 3 miles, from where we lived right up to Northland. If you remember when Northland was an open air mall, before they enclosed it, it was an open air mall. Do you remember that? I know Dawn remembers. Oh, of course. Where's a vinyl collectors event going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m., Alvin? Please tell me. I love to go to just look around through a record store. There is a record store on 9 Mile, just west of Woodward. Ooh. Speaking of vinyl, this is for all my old school babies. Because we tight like that, you know what I'm saying? This was the very first band I saw live. So I figured I had to do it. Yeah.
You are bad
Shout out to everybody who had an auto shop class,
Skin tight, Richard.
a wood shop class, a homemaking class in their school.
Stitches.
If you remember those,
They about to bust the stitches. Yeah.
special commendation for those who figured that if we'd had those in classes today, these kids would have made better choices with their lives. Of course, I remember Boogie. I used to be the manager of Brass Boot right across the hall from them. That was my man. Sam's Jams, that's right. No, that was Berserk in the basement of Northland, Lucretia. I went down there too. And there was a Coney Island down there too. Listen, guys, I'm getting ready to get out of here. We've got 6 more minutes. Don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m., my girl Vanice will be on the air. Wherever you are, just go to the website, WJZDRadioDetroit.com.
You are real fine.
You had wood shop? Oh, we didn't have metal shop. I did have drafting.
A little shady.
But I know Cooley had auto shop. Henry Ford didn't have it. If they did, it was there before I got there.
Money you're bound to
We did have wood shop. Home economics in elementary school? Wow. Wood shop in junior high. I did enjoy wood shop. I wish I did. If they had auto mechanics in Henry Ford when I was there, I was unaware of it, and I would have taken it, and I probably would be, a high-paid automotive executive right now. Oh, they had a jewelry class. Wow. See, what happened to all these wonderful teaching methods of these skills?
with your bad self.
If they had a class to teach plumbing and HVAC in high school, do you know how many wealthy kids there would be? There would be less kids incarcerated and more kids investing in the stock market. Because let me tell you, a master plumber, a master electrician, they're making big bang. Okay, there is a vinyl showing at 269 Erskine, Friday at 7 p.m. Thank you, Alvin. Oh, yeah, and Smoke Jones performing tonight. Where's he at? Where's Smoke gonna be at? Smoke, are you still listening? Oh, my God, ROTC. Gerard learned how to sew in 6th grade. But you didn't make that suit I've been asking you about. I know that. Hey, good morning, Terry Evans. Thank you for joining us on the Rise and Grind morning. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. For those of you just checking in, I go on live Eastern Standard Time at 9 a.m. We're going to do this all over again. My name is Don Allen. I want you to have an exceptionally wonderful day. I want you to be the reason why someone else smiles today. Lighten someone else's load. If you work in an office, Salt and KO. Oh, Smoke is going to be at Salt and KO? Oh, maybe we'll creep down there. Me and Donna and I are going to creep down to Salt plus KO. Lucretia, you coming? Alvin, you coming? Gerard, if you ain't working, are you coming? Hey, Terry, are you coming? Salt plus KO right over there on Telegraph? Because we all skin tight like that, We'll go in there and just trip Smoke out. But once again, let's do this again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'll find something insane to talk about. Don't worry about it. It'll be Freestyle Friday anyway, so get your requests ready. If I got it, I'm going to play it. Don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m., my sister, Vanice, is going to be in the house. But you can stick with me all day today. I'll be on the air till 12 noon. I won't be on camera that long, though. I'm turning the damn camera off, okay? But rise and shine. The rise and grind continues on. You and Faye Bradford? Oh, it's about to go down. We all get tight like that. Make it a good day on purpose. Scat Diva just joined. Where you at, Audrey Northington? Good morning, sweetheart. Come in early next time. That's right. I'll be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Or will I? I think I got an eye appointment. If I don't have the eye appointment, I'll be on it tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Okay, how's that? If I'm not on the camera tomorrow, you know I'm at the eye doctor. But it's going to be a great day. Make it a great day on purpose. Do it with authority. Be a blessing to somebody who can't bless you back. Do the right thing because it's simply the right thing to do. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. I prayed for you already. You just didn't know it. I pray for you every morning because I'm a firm believer that prayer changes things. You know, shout out for my man Alvin. Alvin has been recruiting friends of his to be on the Listener's Choice Show. And I would love, who I would love to have as an announcer, Alvin? Gerard Gibbs. I'm going to talk, Gerard, I'm going to call you later. I want you to be a DJ for a day. Play whatever you want to play. Play your own stuff. Cool. Cheryl, I want you to be an announcer for a day. Listen to the promo for Listener's Choice. I think I plugged it in this hour. It'll be coming up. If it's not, I will plug it in. Make it a great day on purpose. Thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you for your support. Tell your friends about us. Everybody hit the share button. Yeah, I'm ready. I want to hear what you got, Gerard. I know you can do this. You are. Tell you what, just record a show. You got your own equipment and say whatever you want to say, play whatever you want to play, just 1 hour long, okay? And send it to me. Ron Ledford, good morning. Gerard said, you ain't ready for this. Bring it, baby. What are their top 8 artists? That's right. Alvin, we're going to talk about this some more tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we're going to dedicate a good portion of the show tomorrow to it. Listen, I'm out of here. You make it a great day on purpose. And remember to make each and every day count. We are WJZDRadioDetroit.com. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 9. We all get busy every day.